Today we have Vanessa here with us. Should I like say who you are? Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my friend Vanessa here with us.
Hi guys.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Vanessa.
So just to begin with, I share information about personal development, spirituality, things that inspire people, but also just kind of sharing some informational content as well. So you can follow me at I am Vanessa Davis on Instagram. I don't have a YouTube channel. Gabby does, not yet. So you can find me there and shoot me a DM if you find me from Gabby's video. I would really appreciate that.
For sure. I will leave her Instagram down below so you guys can go follow her. So today we're going to be talking about menstrual cups. Specifically, we have experience with the Saalt brand. And we've been using it now for...
honestly, like 2 months.
I've been using it for 2 months. I got mine in December. So a lot of people don't know what a Saalt cup is. So we're just going to be educating you guys from our experience and our knowledge and what we've learned from that.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm happy that a lot of people did ask questions, like both of our Instagram followers. When we asked, hey, what kind of questions do you have about this? We got a lot of responses. So we'll just use that as a base, and then at the end kind of just share some tips from our experience so far. So first question was, what is a Saalt cup? What is that? What is it for? Quote, WTF is this, LMAO.
Oh my god, that's just too funny. So yeah, the main and initial question is, what the heck is a Saalt cup? What is a menstrual cup? So basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is I have mine here too. It is a silicone?
Yep,
silicone cup that can be inserted, and it's used to catch your menstrual.
Yeah, collect
your menstrual cycle.
The thing is, like, it is a reusable cup, and that was
Right.
like one of the first things that really drew me to it, was because it's zero waste. You're gonna make that one purchase of $30, and at that point you don't have to worry about it for another like 10-12 years is what I've seen. So it's basically something, again, that you put up inside of you during your period, and it collects the blood inside of that cup rather than a pad absorbing it or a tampon absorbing it.
Correct. The next popular question was, do we experience leakage while wearing the cup? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, before we started recording, we kind of were thinking about the different pros and cons of using a period cup. And like, I'm not going to lie, when I did use it one day, I did experience leakage. Thankfully, I was at home, and it was like I put it in right before going to bed, and I just didn't put it in properly. Like, it wasn't a fact of like, oh, it's overflowing and it's gonna be sloshing around. It's just that when I put it in, like, you kind of fold it like this, and it just didn't unclamp. It didn't pop open. So at that point,
it wasn't collecting.
It was just
properly.
sliding right through.
Exactly.
And that's user error. That's not the product's error. So
yeah, the biggest thing about the menstrual cup for me was just the learning curve and inserting it properly. I did experience leakage, like faint, what would you call it? Like just, faint.
Like a little bit of drops.
Yeah, like faint, just because, it's a learning cycle. You want to make sure it's inserted properly. And that was just the main thing. So I feel like, yes, in the beginning when you're first learning how to use it, there can be some leakage, but once you learn the process and know exactly where it needs to be placed and make sure, like she said, it was popped open, that's gone away, at least from my experience.
I mean, when you are, whatever it is, 12, 13, 14, when you first start using tampons, like, you need to kind of wear a panty liner to begin with when you're wearing a tampon.
Yep.
So that's like the same exact advice I would give to people who are starting to use a menstrual cup. Just put on a panty liner and you're safe. Like, you're not going to get anything more than that little light leakage.
Yeah. Can you wear it before you need to switch it out? So the Saalt cup specifically is marketed that you can wear it up to 12 hours, right? So I personally have not worn it 12 hours straight. I probably have gone maybe 8 hours overnight, maybe even a little longer, depending on how much I sleep. Marketed to be worn up to 12 hours, but I personally haven't worn it that long. I don't know if you have.
for me, like, sleeping, yes, so like whatever that is, 7-8 hours. But then if I do work, like whatever it is, 8:30 to 5:30 or 9 to 6, I'm not gonna just insert it immediately as soon as I get to work. I'm putting it in before I go to work, taking it out when I get home from work, and that sometimes like it is an hour after. So that is a pretty long amount of time. What I found is that you can put it in like in the shower. If you shower in the morning, put it in the morning, and then when you get home, take it out when you're in the shower at night. Like, I'm one of those people that showers in the morning and the night sometimes. So especially if I'm having this time of the month. So just kind of have it that shower schedule lets me know, okay, it's going to be about 10 to 12 hours. And I mean, again, I haven't had any problems with leakage. Like, you're not producing that much blood. Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna overflow.
That's one thing you'll be surprised about is when you like warn it for hours and you go to take it out, like, and you see how much. It's like, wow, really? Like, that's it? And when you compare that to how often, for me personally, how often I was filling up tampons and like having to change my tampons, I'm like, really, that's it? So that's one thing that I noticed. Another thing is it also depends on what part of your flow you're in. For me personally, in the beginning, obviously my flow is a little heavier and more in the first 2 days versus the last 3, 4, 5 days. Mine's literally the last 5 days. So it depends what part of the cycle. So obviously when I'm menstruating less towards the end of my cycle, I'm not going to need to empty it out as often. And like a question that we received that kind of is to the same topic, is there a way to feel if it's going to overflow? Like, it's not going to. Yeah. Unless you should not be keeping it in as long as it would get to the point where it would overflow. But again, you are not producing as much blood as you think you are. Because when you take out a tampon, typically, I don't, before this, I use tampons. So when you take out a tampon, typically you see that it's full, it's loaded. Yeah, it's not like this. Yeah, you're gonna be really surprised. Yeah, that was like the number one thing that I was surprised. I was like, that's it? Like, what? Because the tampon's expanding. This is just like the blood is sitting there and it's coagulating. Like, that's just what's happening. This is a really valid question. Is it messy? That's like the understandable question. Yeah, I think so. So, it is. It can get messy. Let's be honest. You are pulling out a period cup and you are bleeding. So it can get messy. But I don't think it's any messier of a situation than if you're using tampons. Would you agree? Yeah. So, I mean, it's all about just making sure you're, just clean. Like, you're trying to be clean about it. Making sure your hands are clean. Making sure you're cleaning your hands after. Making sure you use a stall if you're going to be using in public, using a stall that has a sink. I don't think it's any messier than a tampon, to be honest. And like, you have this like little, like, you're going to try to push up against it, and then you can use this. It says do not pull directly from it. You want to like open it and then pull down. Yeah. But like you said, it's like a tampon. Like, you're gonna just get that on your hands because that's just what's happening. You're sticking your finger into an area that has blood. But it's not like bloody murder. Like, it's not that is like what you would expect. When you pull it out, like, blood's gonna fly everywhere. That's not what's gonna happen. You wanna be careful and hold it upright. Yeah. Don't let it fall to the side. But that's why earlier I mentioned that I talked about doing it in the shower. If you do it in the shower, you're already pretty relaxed. You have the water around. It's just, for me, feels easier. I agree. I love doing it. And it was the best time. Using it in the shower was better for me to learn, like, how to place it properly. Just like, because you're like, leg up and you use the tub, lift your leg up, squat, whatever you have to do to feel comfortable with the process. Definitely recommend using in a shower. So yeah, it can get messy, but nothing crazy, nothing that you cannot manage. Use them. How many times can you use it? So for these Saalt cups specifically, they're supposed to be able to be used for 10 years. So one Saalt cup is about $29.99, I think, or maybe a little less. $30, around $30. And this is it for 10 years. That's all you need for 10 years. You can repurchase one in 10 years, but you can use this every single month for 10 years. So that is how many times you can use it. Economically speaking, I think people spend around like $100 each year, give or take, on tampons and pads, because like, you buy a pack, that'll be like 2 cycles, but that's like, again, like $100, give or take. 2 cycles for one pack for you? Maybe, yeah. Nah, I was using. You were using a lot. Yeah, you said that. Okay, so I would typically buy the pack that had like 18 to 24, I think, and I would definitely go do that with one cycle. So I was using at least 1.5 packs each month. So that alone, this already paid for itself.
Yeah,
like for sure.
That's a good way to think of it.
Where do you get them? So I think you got yours at Target.
Yep.
She got hers at Target. When I went to Target, they didn't have the size that I needed, which if you notice, my cup is a little bigger than Vanessa's.
Oh yeah.
She has the small size and I have the regular. This one is recommended for people who get periods and have had children in the past. So I had 2 children, so they recommend this one. It's just a little bigger. And so she found hers at Target, and I did see them at Target, but they didn't have the size that I wanted.
Yeah.
So I actually ordered mine off of Amazon. So you can order on Amazon, Target, or you can order directly from the Saalt Cup website.
Yeah. Like this one, small, it says 3 tampon capacity, light/normal flow, first time user, which I was, and then also pre-birth. So I've never had any children.
Pre-birth.
This is something that's a little bit, it's smaller, but they're really, it's not like,
a little bit. Well, this is the first time that I've seen the other size in person, so I'm like, wow, this is fitting. But yeah, I've had 2 kids. They were both 8 pounds 9 ounces, so things are a little different down there.
Hers says high capacity, high cervix. So I guess, does your cervix move when you have kids? Okay, that makes sense.
Concern is, I'm scared to try one. Does it hurt? Do you feel it? P.S. Love you. Super excited about this video. Oh, sweet. Does it hurt? I don't think it hurts. I think that if it's placed incorrectly, you can feel it.
And then you know to adjust.
And you know that it's not where it should be, but it does not hurt. It's not a hurting sensation. If you feel it, it's not in the right place.
Yeah, and that's just, again, I'm going to continue to compare it to a tampon because it's something that people know. You know when your tampon's not in high enough or if it's too low. Right. So then you just want to make those adjustments. And the first 2 times I did use it, I did feel it, but that's just because I was sitting there like, is it in? Is it in? Is it comfortable?
So remember she was texting me and we were like, because I had told Vanessa about this. No one that I know uses Saalt cups or period cups, menstrual cups, whatever you want to call them. So I needed to get one of my friends on board.
And I was like, whatever. Like I wanted you to try it. Yeah,
she was the only one that was down for it. I sent her a video that I actually gained knowledge from, which was Raw Beauty Christie's video. She had made a video about menstrual cup and her experience, and it was like a 40-minute video, and I sent it to Vanessa, and she watched it. You're MVP.
Yeah.
No one else would watch it, but she did.
I was like, I'm ready to learn.
So, yeah. So when she first got her, she was texting me. She's like, should I feel it? I'm like, no, you shouldn't feel it, because I remember once I finally was able to get it where it needed to be, it was like nothing. Like you weren't even on your period. Like nothing.
That's really how it feels.
Why do we even need a period cup? I know nothing. So you don't need to use a period cup if you don't want to. But basically, some of the benefits for me personally have been just the length of time that I can use a period cup versus a tampon. For me, my experience was tampons that I had to change it out so often. And being a mother of 2 kids, that's not very easy for me, especially when we're in public. If you have kids, you know that going to the restroom in public is like a task in itself. You have to take both your kids with you into the stall. If you have a baby like I do, I have a 1-year-old, you have to, like, if he's not in his car seat, you have to find somewhere for him to be seated. If he's in his car seat, you have to put his car seat on the dirty floor. I try to avoid restrooms when I'm out at all costs when I have kids. So when I had tampons, I would be filling those tampons up. I don't know why. I would get the what is it? Super. I don't remember the term. I'm so my god. Because it's super irregular. I would be using the super in the beginning, you know, the first couple of days of of my menstrual cycle, and then regular towards the end. But guys, I couldn't go. Like even if I had to pee, I felt like I had to change it. Like no, it was just a hassle. So with the period, the biggest thing with the menstrual cup has been that I can wear it for a longer time and I can avoid having to go to the restroom with the process with the kids, take them with me, which that's why I decided to use the menstrual cup. The other benefits would be less waste for the environment, saving money because you buy it and you're done for 10 years. You're throwing away, all you're doing is filling these cotton items up with whatever toxins are in there and just throwing it away. And before we started the video, I was saying how it's been like a year and a half or so now that I've had my IUD removed. So I had an IUD for birth control,
And then ever since I took it out, I really have been just trying to find like a more natural approach to like the hormones in my body and how I practice with whenever I do have my menstruation. Like ultimately I want to put as less toxins as possible, because the IUD really did make me feel like I was not myself. Like, and that's because of those hormones. That's because of those toxins that had the tampons have, the pads have. So some people I do know have like the very natural tampons and then the pads, so more power to you and kudos for using those. But this for me was the most just sustainable, and then also just like the safest. Like, it is silicone, it's not adding anything else into your body like a regular pad or tampon would. So that's where I'm at with it, and that's why I need it. Like, you might not need it, but that's why I wanted it.
We're not here to like force this on you. We're kind of here just like educate, because I had no idea. No one, if any one of my friends were using it, they weren't talking about it. So our goal is just to educate you with our experience and have that as an option if you would like it,
and give a space to talk about it. Like, so that's one of the things that someone did say was like, you are so brave. Like, we are doing this video because we want it to be normal to talk about these things.
Yeah,
so
like why periods are like a thing. Like, they're never going anywhere. They've always been around. Like, why can't we talk about them? Like, if you can't send your man to go get you some menstrual items, then got a problem.
Man or woman.
Yeah. True. What's your fave brand, and do you use it when you're actually bleeding a lot? This is the only brand that I've used, so I can't say that I have a favorite brand. I guess this would be my favorite brand at the moment. I don't have any other experience. And I'll be honest, I've heard people say that the Saalt cup was a little too hard for them, and they preferred the Diva cup. Diva cup is a very popular menstrual cup. That I think that was like one of the first ones.
Yeah, I feel like it was.
And so I've heard people say that the Diva cup was a little softer, but I've also learned recently that there's two
there's a different type of
there's a softer cup one than this. It's like I have the hardest one, and I didn't realize that, but there is a softer one than this.
Like, this is, you can see how easy it is to push down, and that's how I put it in, just like by, I think they call it like the C fold.
There's many different
a bunch of different folds. But there's a Saalt cup soft, so Saalt cup soft. Wow, that's a real tongue twister.
Do you have the soft?
No.
Okay,
this is
we don't have the soft.
This is the regular one.
But a lot of people didn't realize that there was a soft and a regular, and then there's a small and a regular. It's kind of the
soft one is gray.
Right.
So if you want that.
Do you use it when you're actually bleeding a lot? So towards the end of my cycle, when it's just like the little spotting, I can use just a panty liner and get away with that if I don't want to have, because as you see, my cup is pretty large. If I don't have to have it in there, I don't need to, I prefer not to, especially towards the end where, it's just like that faint. I can just have a panty liner and be good with that. I don't know what your experience is. Do you keep it on the whole time?
Yeah, usually. And then like, there's always that random day, like 2 days after your period ends, you're like, why am I spotting? I won't use it for that, but I always will wear a panty liner like a day or two after my period
just to make sure. I heard in Raw Beauty Christie's video, she said she free bleeds towards the end of it.
And that's kind of what I was trying to look for with this cup. Like, I wanted to have that feeling of free bleeding where I'm not shoving up cotton up there. Like, that's just where I was at. I was done. I'm done.
Yeah. That I did get asked on my YouTube, because I did mention this product, is how do you put it in? So there's a couple different ways. There is, I think you use this one.
Yeah.
This is the C fold. It makes like a little C. You can do it that way. You insert it, and then it's good to rotate it just to make sure that it opens up. There's also this one. I don't know.
That's a little more complicated.
This one is like you just bend it down, and these are clean, guys. You're supposed to boil them before and after your cycles to sanitize them. So this is another one where you just go like that and you insert it that way, and it makes kind of like a little shift right there, or point. What was the other one?
Yeah, those were the only two.
Also, the other one's this one. So
and pinch down fold.
Yeah, like this. So you flatten it and you pinch, and it also makes like that little
I think
point.
The C is the most...
C is definitely the most...
least complicated.
Yeah, you just... that bad boy right dragon.
Raw Baby Christy said it was the vagina bitch slap when it pops open, and I like laughed. Like, it was so funny.
She said you want to make sure it's open.
You would, because you don't want to be out and about.
If it randomly pops, you're going to be shocked. So and that did happen to me one time.
Just rotate it. When you
and it was true what she said. It'll happen to you one time, and it'll never happen again. And literally, that's what happened to me. I happened one time. It's like, oh, no. Yeah. So I just rotated. Once I insert it, I rotated just to make sure it's fully open and gentle.
Yeah.
Be very
and take time. Just like when you were learning a tampon. Not a question, but I've been using a cup for almost 5 years now, and I'm never going back. So we mentioned at the beginning we're relatively new to this, and we just want to like share what we've been experiencing so far. But this is somebody that I really look up to. I know and I trust, and like she always is doing things that are like innovative. So she's definitely ahead of the crowd.
That's encouraging for us.
I want to be like that. I don't want to go back.
I'm good where I'm at. When you take it off and you wash it in the sink, but if you're out in public, like it's uncomfortable to change it out. So generally you can like I said, since you can have it in for quite a long time, you can avoid those scenarios where you're out in public and have to change it, which is what I do basically. Like I'm gonna putting it in right before I leave. Chances are I'm not gonna have to change this at all when I'm in public. But yes, if you do have to change it in public, you need to go to a stall that has a sink if you can, and go ahead and pull it out, rinse it off. You can use the antibacterial soap, right?
I've never done it out in public, so I can't even.
I haven't either. I've read online though that people have brought like a Perry bottle. Is that what
and then just emptied it out in the stall.
Yep.
So you kind of have your own rinse it off. Sink.
Yeah, and then I read somewhere else that someone would bring like if they can't go into a stall that has a sink, they would bring like a paper towel, like a damp paper towel, just to wipe it and clean it. But like I said, the main reason that I love this is because I don't have to change it in public. So I haven't experienced that.
I mean, I think we've really genuinely covered everything. Just make sure that you're getting the one that will fit your lifestyle. So like we talked about the 2 different sizes. If you feel that it's too hard, go with the soft one. But this small one has 3 tampon capacity, which is like sometimes a day for some people, but that regular one has a 4 tampon capacity. So you're not going to overflow. That's the biggest part that I want to just, again, reiterate.
And your blood is not going to swoosh around.
You can lay down and sleep with it. It's not.
Oh, yes.
Your blood is coagulating, and I think the body works way different than we think it does. Like, at the end of the day.
Very intelligent. Also, another thing about these bags, they do come with the bags. You can throw these bags in the washer just to make sure that, they're consistently staying clean. And it's just so cute. Like, you just throw it in your purse, and
if you know it's coming,
moving.
Keep it.
Yeah, I love it so much. Alright guys, that is it for our video today. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and like I said, I'm going to leave her Instagram down below, and mine is always in the description as well.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
Have a good day.